Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Tuesday to you. We're taking another look here at Solana, seeing what's going on. Looks like we have swept that short-term liquidation range and are trending towards that macro resistance. Basically, the local point of control is effectively right where the price action's at. So generally speaking, you want to take a long after that's been retested, which you could argue that it has already done that. But the truth is Bitcoin is mostly back on track. I'm tentatively bullish on Bitcoin, and I think that that could factor in here as well. So we may see the 190 to $200 range retested here soon, as we should expect the same thing from Bitcoin from the 98 to 100,000 range. So we'll discuss that here in a moment. Keep in mind Bitcoin has a ton of liquidation here, so there is good incentive for the price to go higher for Bitcoin, and in turn I do think Solana will follow suit. Solana has been kind of the little lost puppy with Bitcoin lately and just following its every move. So we're going to pay attention to see if there's any difference or shifts in momentum. Maybe Solana has broken free from Bitcoin. That's generally what you want to look for when trading altcoins, ones that are performing better than Bitcoin. But on the same accord, let's just be, clear about what's going on here. We're not back on track by any stretch, but it does feel like we are trending towards that. We're in that transition, so to speak. Okay, so before we go further, hit the like button, folks. Easy to do. Do it every single time you watch the videos. Helps grow the channel. Get this in front of more people, because I think people need a fighting chance of becoming better traders instead of watching all these idiot moon boys that just tell them what they want to hear. Okay. Again, emotions don't belong in trading, so we're going to go ahead and go with an emotionless trading analysis. All right, so taking a look here at the last 12 hours here, we can kind of see there is liquidation down as low as 182, upwards to 185. So we could see the price action pull back and sweep that level. Keep in mind this is the last 12 hours. The last 12 hours doesn't tell us a ton. It's kind of just short-term liquidation, kind of just implying, we are where we're at, right? So we do take a look here. Of course, we can kind of see 190, roughly 195 to 192. That's reflected here on the macro as well. I think 195 would seem like a sensible place for the price action to retest, right? So just know that that's a possibility there too. And if we take a look here, of course, we can see that the liquidation delta has shifted from bearish to bullish in the last 12 hours. So most people are taking longs versus shorts, and that's generally a favorable sign. You want to, get in the trend. You don't want to try to trade against the trend, right? So that's generally what that's telling us here. We take a look at the liquidation. Correction, I'm sorry, this is the open interest. This tells us that a lot of people are heavy in the current range of 185 to 188. Okay, we got a lot of positions open there. So let's take a quick look here at the overall sentiment and kind of see where we're at. First of all, the overall situation here is, I would just say let's look at this. Let's look at the numbers here and just kind of go from there. First of all, no opinions to be given here. Just keep your opinions to yourself. I'll do the same thing myself as well, because they don't really do any good. And I like to reinforce and say that because it's simple to or easy to feel like emotional when you trade, right? So I just kind of like to bring that up because people talk a lot about it and ask how I do it. Honestly, after 20 years in the market, you become kind of I wouldn't say gun shy, but you're not used to. It's easy to take emotion out if you have a specific risk tolerance and you always honor the same trading style. I guess that's probably where I need to go with that. Anyway, sorry. Let's talk about that later. I'm getting off track. Let's look at here. First of all, we got a local point of control about 190. That is reflected very similar to this amount of liquidation to the upside here of 192 to 195. So if we get through that point of control, there's a good chance we'll see that level get swept. So I do think the 190 to $200 range is probable at this point. But for right now, at this exact moment, we want to look at this abstractly here and recognize that we're below two of the more important moving averages, the 20 and the 50. That's not a favorable sign on the daily time frame. We're under 50 on the RSI here still as well. Stochastic is trying to swing up, but isn't. MACD is trying to converge, but hasn't yet. It's still very premature. The daily time frame doesn't give us any indication that we're back on track. 4-hour time frame gives us one indication, or maybe two. We got to kind of zoom in to see it, which is kind of sad, right? We're at the 20-day SMA here. We're just above it. So this 185, if we close above 185 today, there's a decent chance we see further upside. Okay, a lot of that hinges on Bitcoin, because if you look at how Bitcoin's behaving, which it's behaving a lot better than Solana, that's a very important factor, right? So when we take a look at the difference between the two, we can recognize that they're both in a position right now where they're not super awesome, but Solana is a lot less awesome than Bitcoin is right now. Okay, on a scale of 1 to awesome, right? That's how we are. I would say Solana is more like a 4 or a 5. Anyways, I'm being a little funny here, but the truth is the pairing here isn't phenomenal. But closing above 185 today and Bitcoin maintaining 96 to 97K range would give us that momentum or that good push to the upside. We're still under 50 on the RSI here. basically right at that resistance level, reiterating and reaffirming that point of control at 186. So we're kind of right at resistance. So a lot of times taking a long into resistance doesn't make a ton of sense. You're generally better off waiting for it to be bullishly back tested first, okay? And what that would look like is for the price to come up and back down, and then that's when you get in. But I know you might miss the boat by then, of course, so if you're gonna get some skin in the game, just make sure it's a small position size or low leverage. One of the two, it's always a safer way to go. I like to kind of get skin in the game too, a lot of times too, right? Well, I'll put in like a 33% position size or a half a position size at a specific level that I feel is mostly good. Then I have a larger position or just the remaining position at a specific key level support, right? Solana doesn't really have that here though. So truth is there's not a lot of support below the price action right now, and I don't feel great about that. I mean, you could argue that 175 is a support. That is true. And that is a macro, point of control, so to speak, with its golden pocket. But either way, at this exact moment, taking a long at the top just feels kind of risky. Not necessarily recommended, but again, if you're going to use a small position size, that would be absolutely the way to go. Taking a look here at the hourly, we can confirm here that we are above the cloud. We have been for about 5 or 6 hours. This is a positive sign. We can recognize as well that the lagging span's free and clear, conversion lines over the baseline. We technically have 3 out of 3 reasons to take a long position here on this time frame. But the 4 hour is indecisive and the daily is fairly bearish. So if you add that all together, it's not a super strong combination to take a long position with like a lot of confidence. But the truth is this is somewhat of a bullish type of pattern. You can kind of see the price action working itself into a type of pennant. Bitcoin is exuding a very similar structure. So generally speaking, I think, for the most part, Solana's in good shape here on the smaller time frames, but it still hasn't broken bullish yet, right? So again, if you're going to take a trade, I would err on the side of caution and just be kind of careful and don't go all in just yet. All right, we're not truly confirmed. And I mentioned yesterday too that I was considering a short at 185, but that was under the impression that Bitcoin didn't break through its key level resistance, and didn't bullishly backtest its support level. So it has done that. Therefore, I feel Solana has a slightly larger probability of going up than down, just based on me feeling confident that Bitcoin is going to go that direction too, right? At least for the moment. Don't be blind and stupid and try to take a long from Bitcoin up to 120,000 with a profit target in the 100+ K range. I don't think we're going to pass 100,000 right away. I think we're going to retest that range, but I think we're going to reject there. Which is reflected here of the 198 to 203 mark for Solana, right? This is that macro resistance range. So we just got to respect it. If you're going to do anything, secure profits between now and then. Do not be greedy and try to set a profit target at the 210, 220 mark. That's just dumb, okay? While it could happen, the odds are pretty low. We got to stick with the odds and make sure we use proper risk tolerance, and good risk tolerance isn't risking every single trade that it's going to moon out because some idiot online told you it's going to, right? And again, I want to make sure I'm not that idiot that tells you to do that, so I'm always going to reiterate and reaffirm best practice. Cool. All right, I hope that makes sense and I described that correctly. Thank you so much for watching. Join us over on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you haven't yet already. I post our playout charts. Those are available there for you. And then, of course, also same as well, too, with my Discord. If you are here, make sure you read through our signals guide and our trade alerts. I kind of give you education on coins I'm planning to take trades with. I kind of explain my Bitcoin long, for example, there. And then, of course, signals guide too. You have to read this so you know generally how to maximize your benefit with my trades. All right, folks, have a good rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.